Oh, welcome back to another edition, another installment, another episode of Yap Break Radio. I was about to forget right now what I was even doing right now, as I also almost forgot to do this so we could appropriate the vibes. Yes, allow full access. We've been doing up until now. Why would it be different now? Hold up, let's get the appropriate background so we know we can be taken seriously here at Yap Break Radio. I'm Who This. Again, at Who This Is One is the tag, is the at, where you can find me here on YouTube and or Twitch when I get back to streaming at some point. Maybe a couple weeks from now. And or as well, at Who This Is One is a tag for the socials, the Instagram, the TikTok, Twitter, or whatever else. What is there? Threads, and there's what's the other one that's not Twitter? The other one that ain't Twitter. Blue Sky. Right, Blue Sky. If that's even a thing. Well, I'm almost never on Blue Sky. I was just on because I saw that apparently a lot of people shifted over to Blue Sky from Twitter because Twitter, well, it's not like Twitter got toxic just last night. It's been toxic for like the longest time to the point where, excuse me, I just had lunch. Twitter has been toxic for like years now. And I'm not going to say if Musk buying Twitter made it any better or worse. I think it's just about the same, but I think his alleged intent was to make it better, quote unquote. But that's subjective if he did or he didn't. I don't know who you can ask about that, but to be honest, it makes no difference to me because, again, I'm almost never on Twitter except for like what we'll talk about in a little bit before the first thing we bring up is wrestling clips, recaps in that sense, because Twitter is a little, I wouldn't say better, but they are faster as far as getting clips uploaded so you can see what happened immediately. But Instagram too, but Instagram seems like a little bit more editing involved because you want to upload as a reel to like get the most views possible and shit versus Twitter where you can literally get a screen grab of what happened and just post it up there kind of like instantaneously in comparison to having to edit, having to caption, having to touch up a little bit for the Instagram version of the clip you're going to throw up there. But that's for later on, though. Wrestling will be discussed and touched upon, as you can see in the title of the video, Wrestling Magic, right? So, first thing is I wanted to bring up here Yap Break Radio, of course. We yap, we get a break, and we make a whole little radio thing out of it. As you can see in the background, it's to be taken seriously from yours truly. I have never been opposed to what's called bargain shopping. I will not commit to going to flea markets just yet, only because it's not like I'm a germaphobe. I'm not Howie Mandel with it to that level. But I do think a lot of times with flea markets, it might seem like a bit anti-hygienic to necessarily buy from there. But then I think I'm also confusing flea markets with like the thrift stores. Excuse me, I can say thrift. The thrift stores, Goodwill and such, which I've also rarely been into. But I think that's also now deeply rooted in the fact that my mother never wanted to visit any of those stores and or the flea market. So I think if anything, I got the flea market thing from her, maybe. But I know I definitely got the Goodwill thrift shops thing from her directly because she would always basically just pass them by with like ick and think the worst of them. Growing up in the story, we used to walk by one when I was little, and she'd walk me home from school, and she'd always make the biggest stink about that store. It's disgusting. It probably smells in there. Well, have you ever gone in there? No, I haven't, but I'm assuming it smells in there. And or, of course, this is, I'm old. So this is, of course, when AIDS had just become a thing with Magic Johnson and such, and we didn't know about it as much as we do nowadays as advanced as we become on the topic. She thought it was basically like a storage closet for AIDS patients. But not AIDS patients, but like the AIDS virus itself. That's what she thought. The HIV, as she used to call it, because, barely speaking any English, she thought that was the right way to call things. So people never knew what she was talking about. She'd say the HIV, I'm scared of the HIV, instead of saying AIDS. But, yeah, I'm not above bargain shopping because, as you can tell, probably, well, I've alluded to it before, I've said it before, and if I haven't said it before, if this is your first time here, well, yeah, I grew up poor, like a lot of us did. Wanting a lot at a young age, not having a lot, but that's not to reflect on the past times. But primarily. Even we were so poor that even like Goodwill shopping was like asking a lot of her to do so. And she would do what she could to get some little like spare change to like go shopping somewhat with some decency. But I was never opposed to it because to me, I would see in the Goodwill stores, especially the one that was in Astoria, when I was little, I used to see a lot of like things I probably see in Toys R Us, but kids that gave it back or they were like taken away from them because they were bad kids, and you see them there. And I'd always want to go in, I'd always want to look and check it out, but she would never let me. And on a very rare occasion, we got to go in there after not even begging, but just kind of like, what's the harm in going into a Goodwill store? It's not like you're gonna get like any sort of or contract any sort of disease from going in there. It's just like maybe the clothes smell, maybe it came off a smelly person. That doesn't mean they're bad. That doesn't mean they're like gonna start peeling on your skin as soon as you wear them. And I don't want the clothes anyway. I'm a kid. I wanted to see the toys. I wanted to see what was good in there. But that turned into one time, two times, and then that was it because she just got freaked out and started panicking. Almost like I guess a Howie Mandel would probably freak out if he was ever in a Goodwill store, a thrift store. Shout out to the thrift store shoppers out there, not putting you down and saying nothing against you. I'm just telling you about what it was back when. In the comments, we got Poonam Kumari K6Q51. Hi. Hello, right back to you. Thank you for being so enthusiastic about your hello. You said hello or hi, and you also made the comment thing say that you said hello to reemphasize the hello again. So hello to you out there, and appreciate you chiming in. But as I grew older, bargain shopping for clothes especially always became a thing because I never wanted to be the kind to spend too much on clothing when it's not really merited. And I was never like a fashionista. Again, grew up pretty poor, got whatever clothes I can get a hold of. Yes, I'm a bald man. Yes, I'm fully aware of that because, and just to make sure I'm gonna pat myself down, yes, I am bald. I have a little bit of hair, allegedly, coming in on the sides, but that's just because, I let it. It's been some days since I shaved myself completely bald, so yes, Poonam Kumari K6Q5I. I am a bald man. Good eye. Great eye for detail, brother. Appreciate you on that. So, back to bargain shopping, right? Especially for clothes. I was one of those guys, clothing wise, I was like, whatever comes my way, whatever I can find, I try to see like what I can kind of get, value for my dollar, right? In comparison, though, I did become, for a long time growing up, I guess as a hip hop kid and everything too, sneakers was my thing. That I would never, go cheap on or bargain shop for sneakers. Only now recently because I always look for workout sneakers to like go to gym with so I don't end up paying like $200 for like high end fancy ass, workout sneakers that I'm gonna run through probably in like a matter of months anyway. Not like I'm a super heavy gym rat like that, but you put work into them so they wear out eventually. So why the added expense? And also I'm a retired sneakerhead as far as like it got to the point where there were too many coming out at a time, too many color variants of different models that I don't really love that much, especially when it comes to Jordans. I stuck to my certain number series and I never went past those. What was that? Oh. I never went past the ones like, for example, my favorites of all time would definitely be the 3s, the 8s, and the 11s. Not in that order. I go maybe 11s, 8s, and 3s as far as like my favorite. No, sorry, 11, 3s, and 8s as far as my top 3 Jordans of all time. And I would still consider a majority of them, not all colorways because I don't like all the colors, especially what they did with the 11s, where they started making, the low cuts and just these weird ass color schemes that to me don't make sense. But maybe they appeal to the younger audience, the ones that are currently active in the sneaker heading, the sneaker culture like that. The 8s too, I don't love every color, but I like the aquas, but I don't like them enough to own them, if you get what I mean. And then the 3s are kind of like, there's so many variants of the 3s that I haven't seen any terrible looking ones yet. There's been some subjective looking ones too. I'm not saying they're perfect, but I got a lot more threes that I would rather have and collect versus the 11s, which would be my overall favorite model, a favorite Jordan brand sneaker in the number series at least. And then the 8s had probably the least amount of color schemes I'd actually settle for, if anything. I digress. Sneakers I would never be cheap on. Clothing, yeah, different story. You know, the jeans and the shirts, the hoodies, whatever the fuck I can get, pretty much. I might have to double down on that bargain shopping thing because holy shit, did I just get like a deal that even I couldn't believe. Had me scratching, yes, Poonam Kumari, my bald ass head, out of curiosity when I saw it with my very own eyes, my own two eyes, right across from me on that bargain bin rack at Burlington's of all places. So Burlington, Marshalls, what's the other one? What, TJ Maxx, I think? I don't think I've ever been inside of TJ Maxx, so whatever. But there was a Burlington not too far from me last night on my way back from the gym. I was like, you know what? Maybe I should get, for the time being, I'm not at home right now, maybe I should get like a workout shirt, a cheap enough one so I can swap. So I'm not like sweating up the same one like the whole week. I have like alternates if anything. When I can get the chance to do laundry, I'll be able to clean them both. And I did, and I went inside. And you know, sometimes, for the most part, I even have proof to show how much I ended up paying for the clothing in question, which is right here. I would wear it and show it off, but it's so cold inside here that I can't even take off the hoodie. I gotta keep it on. So I go in to look for an extra spare shirt to work out in, and I go and get it. I'm looking. This color kind of catches my eye a bit. I'm like, you know what? I like this color. Maybe it doesn't look so great against my skin because I'm pale. I need some, melanin or some sort of coloring. I'm like, all right, let me take a look at it. I feel the material. Okay, it's a good material. I can appreciate it. Feels good. It's going to be good on the skin. I'm going to sweat. It's going to kind of slick off as it's described to do so on its little tag. And then I like looking at the old prices of what it was meant to cost when it was brand new versus what Burlington has it on sale for. So originally, this shirt right here, when it was brand new, I don't know, let's just say Macy's or wherever the fuck would be sold, Tommy Hilfiger brand, was 50 cents shy of $40 just for the shirt. Imagine that. Had I seen the shirt itself when it was brand new on the rack at the big brand store where it was initially sold at, with the intent of being sold for 40 a piece, I would have definitely passed on it. Price alone, but also material wouldn't have merited like me wanting to put $40 towards it. That's me, of course. That's my logic. What the fuck do I know? At Burlington, though, now, not only is it at the low price tag they love putting on top of or alongside the original tag it came with to kind of show, hey, instead of, in this case, $40, you're paying, well, what would have been $15 for the shirt alone, which would have been enough for sale, would have merited the cost, and would have been worth the purchase, right? I didn't even get this shirt right here at $15. I got it for less than that. Now, I thought initially it's got to be a glitch, but I'll take the risk of such glitch, and I'll even go to register to see if it rings up at this price, because I'm not into like swapping tags or nothing. I'm not that desperate for like that big of a deal or a bargain. But I know plenty of people who would do that, girls especially, that would do it with dresses, like go to Macy's or swap the tags out, scan them at a lower price, and then, whatever the fuck. If they didn't like it, they return and just peel the sticker off to be the full price, get more credit, etc. So like a whole little scam like that. Which, they were Dominican, so shout out to Dominicans. They know how to handle that kind of business like that. But with these fucking assholes on the hallway, I didn't even pay the $15 that it says right here suggested price would have been from Burlington itself. No, I paid way less than that. I didn't pay half of that. I didn't pay a quarter of that. But speaking of quarters, I paid literally, look at this right here, the price tag. I kept it just as proof. 0.25, 25 cents, a quarter for this shirt right here. A good little quality shirt, Tommy Hilfiger. Now, the only head scratcher about this shirt right now and why it ended up costing, of all things, from $40 originally to what Burlington had it at initially at $15 to now 25 cents. Now, the $1 million question would be, what the fuck is gonna happen to this shirt after its very first wash? Because I didn't wash this before throwing it on. Usually that's my rule of thumb. I wash these things as soon as I buy them. I wash them first and then wear them after. I needed a shirt for right now to be inside and everything be a little warm and throw a hoodie on top of. So I wore it before I washed it. So now we're gonna see what kind of luck I drew with this shirt at 25 cents and see what ends up happening to the shirt. If there's even one thread left stitched on, will it fall apart? Will it dissipate? Did it have a recall of some sorts I'm not aware of? And then I'm gonna regret after I wash this the first time for again. This shirt right here would have been $40 originally. That had been sold, I don't know, let's say Macy's or whatever. Burlington originally wanted, again, $15 for this shirt, right? And then all of a sudden you got 25 cents, a quarter. You know that big ass coin you used to get broken from $1 if you got change like that. It has been years since I've even used currency like that, physical, actual currency like that. I got 3/4 back out of a spare dollar bill I happen to have because I was testing out two things. One, will this scan as 25 cents? And also, if it does, can I ring this up with taxes included to under $1? And it did. No taxes even, 25 cents even. Pasa Kurim. I don't know how the fuck you say that. Hello, do you know English? What the fuck am I speaking, obviously? Do you know Turkish? Obviously, I do not. And hello, yes, hello back. I do not know Turkish, I know English, and hello to you too in return. So yeah, got this shirt for a fucking killer deal. But now I gotta figure what's gonna happen after that first wash. I'm willing to make a video on it. If anything does happen, I'll have to keep the tag as further proof to show. Again, this is the end result cost. It scanned at 25 cents. The girl didn't look at me funny at the register. I was able to pay with $1. She was so young that she was taken aback at me pulling out $1 bill, a single dollar bill to pay for it. I happened to have it because I went to go play pool the other day. It was one of those rare places that don't take any cards, only cash. So I had to get from their ATM machine and got 20. They broke it down. I paid for my fucking hour of playing. And I've been walking around with that physical currency on me ever since. So I just happened to break it down even more. Got to the point where it was $1. That dollar bought me a quarter t-shirt with 3/4 in exchange and return. Now I'm stuck with 3/4. I have no idea what to do with, excuse me, since I don't have a car. So obviously I'm not going to be paying for no meters anytime soon right now. So that's what we're left at with this 3/4 as a result of a quarter t-shirt. Wow, I've never even thought I'd see the day where a shirt of any sorts will cost that little, that low, and at least feel quality for the most part. Now again, let's see what happens after the first time washing this. If it stays intact, hopefully it does. I don't see why it wouldn't. But now I really gotta wonder why it cost 25 cents. Was this somebody saving the shirt for themselves? They swapped out the tags. But then what would cost 25 cents at Burlington? That's the question. What in God's name would cost a quarter? A quarter at Burlington. I mean, yeah, you get discounts and clothing for a fraction of what they would have cost in the big brand stores. But Burlington, TJ Maxx, Marshalls, is Daffy a thing? I don't know. What would cost a quarter in any of them stores? Because they sell shit cheap enough. What's costing a quarter? You can't even get like a candy bar. You can't even get a bag of sweets for like at least a couple of dollars. But 25 cents? That's going to be the mystery to solve. Maybe I'll make a video out of it, maybe an episode out of it to see what happens. The post first initial wash results of this shirt that cost me a quarter. It is only a t-shirt. Yes, I know it's only a t-shirt, but I'm just fascinated with, again, a bargain retail store sold it to me for 25 cents. No eyebrows were raised. No suspicious activity implied upon me, on my person. I wasn't patted down a couple extra times to be like, how did you end up paying for 25 cents? Do we even have the shit to print that says 0.25 cents, a quarter for a t-shirt? And I know it's a bargain store. The whole point of them is selling stuff for cheap that would have gone for full price otherwise in the regular season. But look at that shit, 25 cents. What do you get? My goodness. Russia-077. I'm guessing that says Privyet. Uh, in America, maybe, I think. I only know that vaguely enough because my girlfriend is Russian. So I hope that said Privyet if I'm hopefully saying it correctly. And then America, asking if I'm in America. Yes, I'm in America. I'm in New York. So yeah, there's that. Now, shifting over to something else that I can't believe people are still obsessing over, still getting their feelings hurt all over about. What the fuck? Yeah, the people getting their feelings hurt about like that. It makes you wonder, makes you think. If wrestling was always a fake thing, why would people get upset over the magic of it being broken? Russia dash 077. Wow, you know Russian. Very little. Very little Russian. I wouldn't even dare say I know it, but for as long as I've been with my girlfriend now, I probably should have picked up on it by now, but I know Privyet. I know, let's see, real quick sidetrack. What do I know in Russian? Privyet. Um, I know some words. I think galupsi. Yeah, that's like the chicken stuffed cabbage rolls that my mother-in-law makes that I really like. Me and her get along very well, by the way, surprisingly enough. Um, Sviter, I think Sviter. I think even though this is a hoodie, Sviter is what the one without the hood on it. Sven, Shatiri, Dwa, Null, Wolfim. I know there's a like random numbers because I used to have to work in customer service and very rarely sending up medical transportation, we'd get the Russian only speaking people that trickled over to our line. So to read the number series, it would help. At least like warm them up to you, to at least to get them to try to talk. And if I spoke broken English to them, they would kind of like at least, whatever. You sound like a real Russian accent. I try. But hey, Pasak Rem, hey, take it easy. Don't tell nobody to shut up in here. What's the matter with you? If she's chiming in with, even if she's making fun of it, whatever, I don't mind trying to speak it a little bit. That's all right. But it's all good over here. Just no telling anybody over here to shut up. That's my job, if anything, if I feel like it. But no, everybody's good in here. Pasakrim and Russia -077. You're all good here. Yes, I'm in America and I'm in New York specifically. That's where I'm from. So yeah. But again, Pasakrim, hopefully I'm saying that right to begin with. If I'm not, feel free to correct me. You can like kind of break it up in the comments how to say it properly. Again, it's all good. Just, leave that to me. Don't worry about it. I'm not offended by it. I'm not hurt by that, but nothing. You're from Russia, from Moscow. Nice, okay. I know where Moscow is. No, I don't. I'm kidding. I know Moscow is in Russia. Of course, that's the most, populated. No, that's not the capital, is it? I can't remember right now. I don't know. I'm kind of drawing blanks. It's Friday. It's the afternoon here in the States. So I don't know what's going on much outside geographically speaking wise. But yeah, I try. Maybe eventually I got very lazy because I was doing decent enough in Duolingo where I could practice my Russian a little more to get a little better. It'll probably finally enable me to speak with my mother-in-law, who she only speaks Russian, so probably be to my benefit. And of course, the part of Brooklyn I'm in right now, it's predominantly Russian. So yeah, it probably would be to my benefit to learn at least a couple of words. Maybe be a little cute and whatever, Привет. Or whatever else they say. I forget at this point right now. But as I was saying, so with wrestling, recently I saw someone share a clip of, what was it? I think SummerSlam 1992. And it was the Macho Man and it was the Ultimate Warrior. Rest in peace to both of them. They're both, and Mean Gene Okerlund. He's passed as well too. It's been a long time since. They were talking amongst themselves backstage, preparing to do the post-match. So the match is done. They're doing a end of the match promotion between both of them to talk about, well, you're not getting a rematch. Well, you suck, kind of thing. You know how they both were. Very loud, very aggressive as they both spoke. Very passionate, overly passionate, I guess you can define them as. But they showed the whole clip where before they actually did the promotion that made it to the broadcast, the pay-per-view, they showed the beginning part where amongst the three of them, they were talking about, okay, you're going to say this. We're going to do this again. Don't say that like you said the last time. We're going to make it look good. We're going to make it sound good, make it sound convincing, all that. And at some point, Warrior says to Macho, hey, sorry about whatever before. And Macho's like, no, that's totally fine. That's cool. Let's just get through it. Let's just get it and go, kind of thing. Russia dash 077. Right, you said already you're from Moscow. Oh, thank you. Thank you for saying I'm cool. And also, Paksakarim, you subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you a lot for that one. That means a lot for you subscribing to the channel. Appreciate you. And as soon as I see the notification, once I'm done, I'll subscribe right back to yours too. I like doing that, One hand washes the other, as they say here in America. Jesus Loves You from Denise-ES4WI. According to what's written in the Bible, Jesus loves us all, no matter of how much we may not speak of him and or we're familiar of him. So I will take that as a compliment. I guess I appreciate that. He should love me, goddammit. I haven't done nothing wrong to him. I never even met the guy. Why would he have anything against me? Jesus, that is, of course. No, I'm good. I got no beef with Jesus. Jesus is all good, but agree to disagree as far as, the whole belief system that goes. I'm not atheist, but, I'm not ready to subscribe to the whole, thing that goes on with the Jesus enthusiast. But good on you. If you believe, then you go ahead and believe. Free country, free will, free to do what you want, goddammit. And I can't even read what the fuck that says for the username. Something I should know this. I know enough Koreans and or Chinese folks and or Japanese. I'm going to say that's... Let me not guess what that is. I'm going to be wrong. Are you a bald guy? I'm a bald guy too. Well, you're bald, I'm bald, we're all bald, right? We're all born bald. Some of us are born with a lot of hair. I think I was born with a lot of hair, according to what my mother told me. But of course, that all went away, as you can obviously see here in plain sight. It means cook, oh, nice, cooked potato. What language is that? Because I'm curious. Okay, so your nickname, okay, I'm guessing cooked potato because you're bald. Okay, that's your nickname. I'm a little iffy about having a bald-related nickname, but I guess I have no choice. I was going to say Korean, goddammit. Ah, shit, I would have been right. I was going to say Korean because the characters are like a little... I think you guys have, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys have like the wider characters, like the more wider ovals and circles in your characters. Comparison to Chinese, which I think is a little bit more like straight, algebraic looking. And then Japanese is more like, I don't need to tell you. I'm not going to tell you how your characters look. You can tell me all you want, though. But that's crazy. I was going to guess Korean, which when I was younger, people thought I was Korean, even with the whole head of hair I used to have. But yeah, I guess maybe, I don't know. I can see, but then again, allegedly I'm Japanese via one of my grandparents. Right, so back to the promo, right? So it's the Macho Man, it's the Ultimate Warrior, it's Mean Gene Okerlund, again, all rest in peace, talking about they're going to retake the promo and they're going to redo it so it comes out better. And someone, of course, in their feelings, probably my age and or older most likely, since this is the time of wrestling that I remember fondly as a child, someone in the comments has to be the party pooper, the one that's so fun of the parties, being like, oh, well, how could they post this? This is terrible. This ruins the magic, the allure of what I grew up watching with these three idols and icons and shit. It's like, waxing poetic on people that are dead already. And that, of course, maybe not so much Ultimate Warrior, allegedly. Macho definitely, Mean Gene definitely would take it so serious, the whole thing, profession, the industry and such, that they would do retakes. They wouldn't have to be told, hey, let's do a retake. They would be like, nope, that's not the one, let's do it over again. Macho Man used to have his matches scripted out. Mean Gene wasn't afraid to break character and or make a joke if it was going nowhere as far as a promo. Warrior, I'm sure he took his shit serious enough. He got paid enough to do it for so long too. No disrespect, obviously. But these guys gave a shit about making it all look believable enough. Obviously, it's fake. It was always fake. It's always been fake. But believable enough to bring the audience, the fans back in and win over some more people at a time when wrestling was that popular, because there wasn't a lot of other options to watch besides that. There was enough to watch if you were like into the real sports and whatever else, but I hate that them showing that was totally taken the wrong way by fans that obsess over, oh, well, I don't want to see how much they practice and or choreograph ahead of time because then I'm not going to be uh, so motivated to believe in it or buy into it when it comes time to watch it live and shit. Well, stupid. It's not real to begin with. So what the fuck are you even crying about? That's what I don't understand. For as young as I've been, or for as long as I remember watching to begin with, I knew it was fake. Why would two grown men ever waste 15 to 20 minutes of sweating on each other in their underwear, throwing each other around, and yes, they do get hurt. Yes, they do get injured. I'm not denying that part. Instead of just fighting for like 5, 10 seconds, 1, 2 good swings, instead of practicing elaborate moves or throwing each other around like that to settle a dispute. So why can't we add the drama, the flair to it, no pun intended, to make it look like what it is at the end of the day, a whole show. And of course, that's the one fucking stupid comment, the one dumb take compared to the other people dogpiling them and saying, stupid, it was never real to begin with, so why are you getting so butthurt over something that was pretend always? That's what I never understood. But that also might explain why, it's to an extent. As they say, there's levels to this shit because if they took the time to make a promo something more, have it land a little better, have it stick more, have it be taken more seriously. I totally get that, and I appreciated seeing that little clip. It was wonderful to see, honestly. I even watched a whole, long ass video they posted on the WWE YouTube channel of what was it, Golden Era, I guess you can call it B-roll footage. Andre the Giant, rest in peace, shooting a commercial where he was trying to cram himself into a tiny little compact car. 3 different ones, different takes, director yelling cut and shit. And it was wonderful to see. Just to see him out of character, smiling, laughing at the whole idea of this giant 7-foot+ man, 500 pounds of man, trying to fit into a little compact European vehicle. Or all the outtakes of Mr. Perfect trying to throw a dart directly at the bullseye, and him taking maybe 20 tries before he finally got it after having to repeat the same line over and over and over and over again. Those are better times. I guess maybe in a sense it was more relaxed too because they were literally character actors that happened to be wrestling versus nowadays where everyone's overly athletic, overdoing the moves, overdoing the, potential to get paralyzed for life or become vegetables, complicated moves that are really just them making up for the fact that they can't cut a convincing promo or can't be a convincing, entertaining, engaging enough character to win not just the ones that will watch by default, the wrestling fans over, but more so the outside eyes, the outside audience, the ones that used to be able to walk through, a living room, see wrestling on and be like, let me stick around and watch this for a little bit. This looks cool. Or something like that. Or flipping to random channels, they see wrestling. And then it's like, okay, this is kind of cool. This looks stupid enough to fucking, brain rot with for a little bit. It's not even like that anymore now. It's really catering to just the fans and even to the fans themselves of the shit, which I'm not anymore. I just watch highlights. I watch Twitter recaps, Instagram recaps, and or the YouTube highlights from shit. If I really want to keep tabs like that, it's not even catered to them anymore because now it costs so much to go to a live show that there's no point in doing so. It's rinse, wash, repeat with the same characters, with the same storylines, with the same fucking promo style even. Why watch? Why bother watching? Why not just watch the whole thing on fast forward? If not, again, wait for the YouTube highlights, which at this point I'm convinced they know it's to their benefit to do the YouTube highlights because why stick through the whole thing if you're gonna get nothing out of it besides, okay, same story, 2 different characters, or the same 2 characters have had beef forever, just in a somewhat different story twist to revisit the beef. The past arguments and or disputes they've had in the past. They've gotten lazy. And that's not to, and please don't label me as like a Vince McMahon defender either. No, that man was giving us some of the stupidest shit possible to be forced to suspend belief enough to invest the 2-3 hours a week for Raw, the 2-3 hours a week for SmackDown and shit. It was insulting. That's when I stopped watching in 2020, when it got a little too stupid even for me, for a mostly lifelong fan watching. I just stopped at that point. I wouldn't watch Raw or SmackDown anymore at that point because I just couldn't. I couldn't bring myself to do it. It became a chore to, remember to watch Monday Night Raw. And now, in comparison with Triple H, you got the epitome of lazy booking, where, again, it's the same cast of characters. It's a kind of, sort of, maybe little bit different, finely tweaked story. Nothing changes. Nothing moves along like that. It's not worth it. And it makes you scratch my head because, well, this is the guy that did the NXT Black and Gold era that we love so much, the last great era in professional wrestling, in modern times at least, where now it's like, why would you even put in charge of anything? You're just out there looking to be front and center with your fucking name being the first thing that rolls as credits at the end of the show to remind people this is your product, but how proud can you be of this shit? I don't know. I'm left to wonder out loud. That's why, of course, no time soon am I ever going to be watching wrestling like that again. I've been done for years, trying to keep tracks of, like, the live shit. Maybe once in a while I'll do a WrestleMania, but, like, this month coming up, they got the Saudi Arabia Blood Money Royal Rumble. I'm not watching that shit. I'll catch the highlights. This will be the first Rumble in, like, goddamn years. I won't watch it all live. Can't even watch it on a fucking Peacock, or I think you could on ESPN, right? But then you have to have Peacock, which I canceled a while ago. And you got to have ESPN on to watch the pay-per-views, and this one to watch the Raw, this one to watch SmackDown. No thanks, I've been checked out. So has my wallet, so has my actual interest in the product anymore. I'm talking about years from now, but sorry. I mean, listen, if you want to reflect vividly on the past memories of, nothing beats, for me at least, I'm of a certain age, so I can say this, the golden era of wrestling. Again, late 80s, early 90s, Hulkamania, rest in peace, or piss, whatever you want to label that man as, all good with me. Those are my fond memories. And of course, the Attitude Era, there is that too. But to show the fine craftsmanship that went on behind even a simple promo, Macho Man, The Ultimate Warrior, and Mean Gene Okerlund, they would not shy away from actually being like, let's do this over again, let's get it tighter, let's make it right, so it can go out whenever it's got to go out with this pay-per-view, with the show, whatever. There's no harm done in that. That WWE Unreal thing on fucking Netflix, however, not too bad, but not great. Didn't offer really a lot more besides a little bit too much of pulling back the curtain on shit like that. But that's all right. I mean, it's whatever. It didn't prove anything but, Triple H was just patting himself on the back and waxing poetically about whatever. P420-X5T. Sniff my dirty, crusty underbed sock. Why would I ever want to do that? What's the incentive? What's the outcome? What's the gain out of me doing so? Pete 420, which, 420, I'm sure you smoke when it comes that time of the year. 420, that's the day you look forward to. And if you do, nothing wrong with that. Why would I be incentivized enough to smell your dirty, crusty underbed sock? And I wonder why it got crusty. And what's it doing under your bed? Did you tell your mother about that sock yet? Please don't, because I'm sure you're going to break your heart even more. Please, enough right there. Pete, it's all good, but just shared a little too much, brother. And no thanks, I'm not into sniffing stuff. I probably got a deviated septum anyway, so I probably want to get the best sniff out of your dirty, crusty underbed sock. It's all good though, bro. That's going to be it for me today, though. Again, taking advantage of another time I get afforded to me to do another Yap Break Radio. That's me, Who This, at Who This Is One here on YouTube and or Twitch. At Who This Is One's the same tag on the socials. That means the Instagram, the TikTok, Twitter. What did we say last time? Threads and Blue Sky? Yeah, Blue Sky. One of those, right. Catch me on there. Another Yap Break Radio when I get around the time to doing so. I'm not too sure of a schedule just yet, but I think the whole point of this thing is to just do it when I literally have a little break to do so, as I did right now. Appreciate you. Catch you next time. Until then, another Yap Radio. Keep yap, 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 yap.